The Raptor's been with me for longer than any other car I've ever owned. I've done some things, but nothing overly custom to it, just the suspension, and that's about it. With the crazy used car market right now, I'm seriously considering selling the Raptor. I can get crazy money for it right now. But I also look at the benefit of owning it outright and not having a payment. I'm going to go over the pros and cons of keeping the truck, and at the end of this, let you know the decision I've come up with, if I should sell it or keep it. First pro, the family fits in it. It's wide enough so we fit. The seats are a little bit close, so we have to make sure that sometimes I have to scoot up, but we all fit in it, which these days, that's a big pro. A con is it's not as easy to drive around town as the BMW, so a lot of times it gets left home and we're in a different car. Another pro, it is paid off. So I have zero car payment with it. The only thing it costs me is maintenance costs, and I don't drive it much, so those aren't very much. Con, it gets the worst gas mileage out of every car I have currently. Another pro, I love the way it looks with its little bit of a lift, but not crazy, and it is always fun. Every time I drive it, I have a good time. The con that comes with part of this look is the tires are really loud, and they look great, but when I lived in California, there were mountains. I could go to the mountains. The benefit of those tires could be used. Now in Florida, there are no mountains. So the tires don't really work. They're just loud and obnoxious. Another pro, it comes in really handy sometimes to have a truck, a tow, and it has a bed, and that is a huge benefit from time to time. I could see how it would be very frustrating on the times you need that if it's not something you have. The con is the technology is super far behind now because it's almost 10 years old, and now I upgraded the radio to try to help this, but now the battery is being drained constantly and it's dying a lot. A big pro for me is I don't think anyone is going to make a truck like this again. And what I mean by that is it's a naturally aspirated big V8, and that just is going away. Everyone's going either EcoBoost style, where it's a small motor with turbos, or they're going hybrid electric. This type of truck is going to be extinct, and there's a chance that even though the used car market is so big right now as far as values, this one could go back up eventually because they're not going to come out with anything like this ever again. A con for this is you have a really hard time parking it in parking spots. It's so wide that it takes the entire spot, and then you're squeezing out of it to get out of the car to go into the store you've parked at. That's just a quick small list, but what would you do if you were me? Let me know in the comments. Would you keep it or sell it with the way the used car market is right now? So I'm really struggling, even after making this list, with one big thing. I know I could sell this for top dollar right now, like make really good money. And in a few years, when the used car market calms back down, I could buy it maybe for half of what I could sell it for right now. Meanwhile, I have the money that I sold it for, and then the difference from buying it back later, that's just mine in the bank. I try not to make all of my decisions based solely off of money, because then sometimes it leads to regret. I still have to think about it and make the best decision for my long-term future and my family's, and make the right decision thinking that way. After thinking long and hard about this, and I've gone back and forth that I was gonna sell it, that I'm gonna keep it, I have decided I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna make more of an effort, and I'm gonna change the few things that I can to make it easier to drive, like the tires, and when I'm not driving it, have a battery tender on it so that the battery stays fully charged, because half the time now I go to start it, battery's dead, I gotta jump it. I decided that the money I could get for it isn't enough to outweigh the benefits of keeping something paid off and not having. I would honestly just put that money in the bank. With the inflation rates and stuff like that, it's kind of losing more money than I would like to anyway. I'm going to bank on the long-term hold of this, that these cars aren't going to be around in the future, and think that I could get close to this later on also. I don't think I would have come to this decision a few years ago. My mindset wasn't in the same place it is right now. And if you want to know more about how I changed the way I think, check out my book on Amazon. It's on Audible. I'll put the links below. I truly believe that having a growth mindset is the key to success in business and life. So without it, no matter how talented or motivated you are, everything is more of a struggle when you're in a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. Check out some of my other videos. Make sure to comment if you have any questions. I try to answer everybody's comments and let me know anything you want to know. And don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and I'll talk to you next week.